The Miss Universe pageant has always been a spectacle of glamour, intelligence, and cultural pride. But this year, 2025, the glitz was overshadowed by unprecedented drama, controversy, and a moment that will go down in pageant history. What started as a celebration of global beauty ended in a walkout, a heated debate, and a crowning moment that left the world divided. Today, we're diving deep into the Miss Universe 2025 controversy. What really happened on that stage? Why did so many contestants walk out? And how did the winner, Miss Thailand, react to being crowned amidst such chaos? Stick around, because this story is far more complex than you might think. It was the final night of the Miss Universe 2025 competition. The energy in the arena was electric. Millions were watching from home, eagerly waiting to see who would take home the coveted crown. The top 10 had just been announced, and the competition was fiercer than ever. Contestants from countries like Brazil, the Philippines, Colombia, and the USA had delivered stunning performances, and it seemed like anyone's game. The final question round was next, the moment that often separates the winner from the runners-up. The tension was palpable. The hosts were building up the suspense. The audience was on the edge of their seats, and then something shifted. The final question was announced, and it was a tough one. The contestants were asked, in a world facing unprecedented environmental challenges, should developing nations be held to the same standards of emission reduction as developed nations, and why? A complex question touching on global economics, environmental justice, and international policy. It was designed to test not just their public speaking skills, but their grasp of critical global issues. Miss Philippines was the first to answer. She gave a thoughtful response, advocating for shared responsibility, but with differentiated timelines, earning applause from the crowd. Miss Colombia followed, arguing for financial and technological support from developed nations to help others transition to greener economies. The answers were strong, articulate, and passionate. But then came the turning point. As the final few contestants prepared to answer, a rumor began to circulate backstage and quickly spread through the audience and social media. The rumor alleged that the final question had been leaked to a select few contestants beforehand. The atmosphere changed instantly. What was once excitement turned into suspicion and confusion. On stage, you could see the unease growing among the contestants who hadn't answered yet. They exchanged nervous glances, their smiles faltering. The hosts, seemingly unaware of the brewing storm, tried to keep the show moving, but the momentum was lost. The air grew thick with tension. The dam broke when it was Miss Venezuela's turn to answer. Instead of addressing the environmental question, she picked up the microphone and said something that stunned everyone. She spoke with a trembling but firm voice, saying, "I can not in good conscience participate in a competition where the integrity of the process is in question. For the fairness of all my sisters standing here, I must respectfully withdraw." And with that, she put down the microphone and walked off the stage. The crowd gasped. For a moment, there was dead silence. Then, another contestant, Miss South Africa, followed her. Then Miss USA. Within a minute, a cascade effect began. Contestant after contestant turned their back to the judges and walked off the stage in solidarity. In total, 7 of the top 10 finalists walked out, leaving only 3 contestants, Miss Thailand, Miss Brazil, and Miss Australia, standing in bewildered shock under the bright lights. The live broadcast was pure chaos. The hosts were visibly flustered, trying to understand what was happening. Producers were scrambling backstage, The audience was a mix of boos, confused murmurs, and some scattered applause for the contestants who walked out. Social media exploded. The hashtag Miss Universe Walkout was trending worldwide within minutes. People were taking sides, with some calling the walkout a brave act of protest for fairness, while others criticized the contestants for ruining the event and disrespecting the organization. The broadcast went to an unscheduled commercial break as the organizers tried to regain control of a situation spiraling into a full-blown crisis. It was a moment of television unlike any other, and the world was watching, dumbfounded. When the show returned from the commercial break, the stage was a surreal sight. The 7 empty spots were a glaring reminder of the protest. The hosts, looking shaken, announced that the competition would continue with the 3 remaining finalists. The decision was met with a mixed reaction from the live audience. Some felt it was the only way to move forward, while others felt the entire competition had been compromised and should be nullified. The 3 remaining contestants, Miss Thailand, Miss Brazil, and Miss Australia, were in an incredibly difficult position. They had to compose themselves and answer the final question, knowing that a massive cloud of controversy now hung over the crown. You could see the conflict in their eyes, the desire to win, mixed with the unease of the situation they were in. Miss Australia went first, delivering a solid answer despite the immense pressure. Miss Brazil followed, her voice shaking slightly but her message clear. Then it was Miss Thailand's turn. All eyes were on her. She took a deep breath, and with remarkable composure, she first addressed the elephant in the room. She started by acknowledging the courage of her fellow contestants who had walked off, stating that their concerns for fairness were valid and should be investigated. She then transitioned to the actual question, giving a powerful, well-reasoned answer about global cooperation and shared humanity in tackling the climate crisis. Her ability to remain graceful under fire and to address the controversy with empathy before fulfilling her duties as a finalist was a masterclass in poise. It was a moment that won her a great deal of respect, even from those who were critical of the show continuing. After a tense and abbreviated final look, the moment of truth arrived. The hosts announced the winners. The second runner-up was Miss Australia. The first runner-up was Miss Brazil. And then the new Miss Universe 2025 was announced, Miss Thailand. As the crown was placed on her head, her reaction was a complex mix of emotions. There was joy, of course, the culmination of a lifelong dream. But there was also a visible weight on her shoulders. She was crying, but it wasn't just tears of happiness. The traditional victory walk was subdued. She waved to the crowd, but the usual eruption of pure joy was replaced by a more somber, reflective atmosphere. She had won the crown, but the victory was undeniably bittersweet, tainted by the events of the night. In the days following the pageant, the Miss Universe organization went into full damage control. They released a statement promising a full and transparent investigation into the allegations of a leaked question. The organization maintained that their protocols were secure but acknowledged the concerns raised by the contestants. The 7 contestants who walked out released a joint statement, explaining that their actions were not a personal attack on the remaining finalists, but a stand for the integrity of the competition itself. They emphasized their love for the Miss Universe platform, but stated that a fair competition is its most fundamental principle. The world was split. Supporters of the walkout hailed the women as heroes. Critics accused them of being sore losers or causing a scene. The newly crowned Miss Universe, Miss Thailand, handled the aftermath with incredible grace. In her first press conference, she didn't shy away from the hard questions. She reiterated her respect for the contestants who walked out and called for unity. She said her goal was to use her reign to bring people together and to prove that the crown could still be a symbol for positive change, despite the controversy surrounding her win. She pledged to be a Miss Universe for all, including the women who had competed against her. Her diplomatic and empathetic approach began to slowly mend the narrative, shifting the focus from the conflict to the potential for healing and progress. She faced an uphill battle, but her poise and sincerity made a strong impression, showing the world that she was more than just a winner by default. She was a true queen, ready to lead in a time of crisis. The story of Miss Universe 2025 is a reminder that beauty pageants are more than just crowns and sashes. They are a reflection of our world, complete with its passions, its politics, and its dramatic, unscripted moments. What do you think? Was the walkout justified? Should the competition have been stopped? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and do forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories everyone is talking about.